I'm just making sure we're good to go. We're recording now, so whenever we want to start, we're good to go.
Okay,
Awesome.
sounds good.
So that's Joey. My name's Jeff. I obviously don't expect you to understand who's who, but we are Joey and Jeff. Well, dude, so this is phenomenal. This is awesome. We're super pumped. Thanks for taking the time to be on the show.
Yeah, no problem.
You're slightly busy, but we're glad to welcome to the Kraken Pod, Tye Kartye from the Seattle Kraken, from your Firebirds. Like, we are so pumped to have you here. Where did you just come from? Right? What are you doing? I mean, you're scoring goals. You're at practice. Like, what are you doing right now in life?
Yeah, I just got home and took some time off. It was a long season there, so it was nice to get home. I didn't get home during the year at all for Christmas or anything, so it was nice to see my parents and my sister and my dog get back home and rest up a little bit, and then get back into training pretty quick. And obviously, it's a short summer, so now I'm kind of looking forward to the start of the season.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to like talk about, and such a great season last season. So you're in Kingston?
Yeah, that's where my family lives, in Kingston.
Okay, so one question I had was, I grew up in Michigan, in Detroit. Joey and I were in New Orleans, so it's kind of weird that we're huge Kraken fans in New Orleans, right? But Kingston's kind of like you're close and relevant to like a lot of different hockey cities. I just assume, and maybe I shouldn't assume, that you grew up a Leafs fan. What was your NHL pro team allegiance when you grew up?
Actually, everyone says that, but it wasn't the Leafs. It was always Pittsburgh, because of Crosby was so good when I was growing up. So it was always fun watching him on the TV.
Well, you just stabbed Jeff in the back with that one. That's his number one hit game, man.
Dude, look, I know he's one of the best of all time, but I grew up in Detroit, and I just can't, But I know, was that your idol growing up?
Yeah, that's funny too, because my dad was a Detroit fan growing up, and right in the kind of middle of my fandom was when they had those back-to-back cups against each other.
Right.
So that was pretty funny.
That was good. I remember exactly where I was when the Red Wings lost to the Pens in that 2008, 2009, and brutal. So like, I respect Sydney, but I just can't.
Can't cheer him on, eh?
I can't. But like, all right. So growing up, were you in hockey? Starting at 4, 5, 6, like early on? Did you find it later on? Like, how did you find hockey? Was it just a lifelong thing for your family?
Yeah. Nobody in my family really played at a high level, but they kind of put me in it, just like they put me in a lot of sports when I was a kid. And I played a lot of sports for a while, but hockey's kind of always been the favorite. So I played that since I was young, and obviously kept it going.
That's awesome. So if you weren't playing hockey, if you could play another sport professionally, where would you be?
Well, when I was younger, it was hockey in the winter, and then there's always soccer in the summer.
Nice.
And but as I got a little bit older, the soccer, after I stopped playing that, it kind of turned into golf. So
yeah,
it would probably be golf. That lifestyle seems pretty cool, but
that answered my question. I was going to ask you about the off season. Did you get some golfing? Did you get some golfing in the short off season that you had?
Yeah, I actually just got back to it here a couple of weeks ago, because I had something injured at the end of the season, so I had to let that heal first, and then I kind of just got back into it, so it's been fun.
Are you 100% healthy right now?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay, that's good.
Back into training and skating and stuff.
What's your handicap?
I'm not that good. I don't even keep one. I just go out and play for fun.
Are you the best golfer in your family as well as hockey player?
I would say in my family, but we don't have too many golfers, so that's not too hard to do.
You're approaching golf like the same way Jeff approaches it, which he's like, I'm not that good, but I enjoy playing it. But I feel like you might be sneaky good. I'm not like I respect the game. I'm horrible at it. I've only gone a handful of times. I'm like the drinking beer, driving the cart guy. So I feel like you and Jeff can get along on the golf side of things here.
Yeah, I'm kind of just I play the same home course in the summer all the time. So when I get out to another one, it's a little bit of a challenge for me.
Okay.
Have you golfed with like any of the Firebirds guys or any of the Kraken guys?
Well, being in Coachella, obviously the weather was super nice year round, and I got out a couple times during the year, but I mean, some of the guys were really good down there. So I wasn't super into it during the season, but every once in a while I'd get out if we had an off day or something.
Well, look, you're on the right path. I mean, if you're going straight stereotypical hockey pro, and then you can fall back on golf. So you got plenty of time.
There you go.
You
hang out with like Steph Curry, right?
That's
like
the typical answer. Eh?
Yes.
Yep. That's not a bad thing. All right. So you grew up playing hockey. When did you start to realize that, or maybe your parents, or that, hey, this is, Tye's pretty good at this stuff. Like, we're going to keep going. Like, when did you feel like you were starting to possibly have pro dreams? How old were you?
Honestly, that never really kicked in until my last year of junior. It was always just kind of a journey to see how good I could be, and to see how far I could make it in hockey. And I never had a great season in junior until the last season, and that's when I signed. So that's kind of when it became a reality. I wasn't like, obviously I had hoped that would happen, but it kind of came in fruition in the last year of junior.
That's awesome. And have you always been throughout, even when you were playing, as a mite and all that sort of stuff, like, have you always been a forward?
Yeah. I always played forward. I played center all the way up until I got to the OHL, and then I played a little bit of center in the OHL, and then transitioned to wing there, and that's where I've been ever since.
Yeah, you've definitely found your groove. So you played for the Greyhounds in Sault Ste. Marie. I grew up in Michigan, never been to Sault Ste. Marie in my life. It's way up there.
Yeah.
At the tip of Michigan, right? Canadian. Is it all I know about Sault Ste. Marie is hockey, the Greyhounds, Ronnie Francis was there, Wayne Gretzky was there, right? So legit good team. Is it cold as what there? Like, is it like so snowy and freezing?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty snowy. My first year, like, obviously when I got drafted there, I was like, "Whoa, where's this place?" It's so far away from home. But yeah, my first year when I got there, the snow was like nothing I'd ever seen. But after my 4 years there, I grew to really like the city and enjoy being there.
That's awesome. I mean, you obviously did, because you crushed it there, right? And that's what kind of like got you on this path to get to Coachella and then to the Kraken. What did you take away, and like, what were your major leaps when you were in the OHL for those seasons? Like, what did you, going into it, coming out of it, obviously you get yourself a bigger pro contract. Like, what did you learn? How did you grow? How do you feel like you grew in that time?
Yeah, I feel like I grew a lot. Like, obviously when you first show up to your OHL team, some guys go at 16. I went at 17, which is still pretty young, and there was a lot to learn about just how to attack, getting better, and your own development, and then a lot of mental stuff as well. Because I feel like there's a lot of mentality stuff when it comes to being a really good player. So I learned a lot of stuff there. Through the game and off the ice, how to handle yourself and how to be a pro.
I feel like, sorry, I have to say something. I feel like you're kind of like, you're a humble dude. And you're kind of underselling it a little bit here. Cause like, dude, we have your stats pulled up. Like, your second season with the Greyhounds, that wasn't bad at all.
No, it wasn't it definitely wasn't.
You were like, oh, I wasn't good until the last
better than my season with the Greyhounds. I'll tell you what.
Beer league. It's like somehow negative.
No,
goals.
It definitely was not a bad season, but I mean, it was a good season, but I mean, I guess I was kind of comparing it to the last year there where I had a really good season.
Yeah. So and we had some stats pulled up. So, I mean, you already know all this because you lived it, but dude, you get 79 points in 63 games. You're like second in the OHL in scoring, you're first in power play goals. And then March of 2022, that's when you signed the deal with Seattle, 3-year entry-level contract. Was that kind of surreal? Because like Jeff already mentioned it, and you already know, like, Ron Francis was a Greyhound. I mean, Wayne Gretzky went there as well. So how was that kind of feeling, like seeing Ron in the building and hearing about it? And the next thing you know, Ron's like, hey, man, we're signing you to Seattle. Like, you're going to become a Kraken.
Yeah, it was really cool, especially too because I didn't play the whole entire year before that because of COVID. The Ontario League didn't play.
Oh, yeah. So
and then going into the last year, obviously you wanted to have a really good year, and then kind of I started off strong, and then hearing that there was interest from the Kraken and stuff really excited me and wanted me to keep going and keep getting better. And then obviously when it happened, it was something that, especially me, I never knew if it was going to happen. So, I really tried to enjoy that and share with my family and just enjoy that moment because it was pretty special for me. It was a long time coming.
How does that work? First question is, are you a guy who knows all your stats, or are you more of like just I'm just in the moment, I'm just training, or be honest, like if I said, all right, so 19 here, how many goals did you have? Are you a stats guy, or are you just like I'm just in the moment, just doing my thing?
Yeah, honestly, I could probably from junior on, I probably remember them all.
Yeah, just go home, look at the box score.
Yes. All right, so like what was the actual moment like? Like, was it, I mean, obviously, do you hear rumblings of like, hey, like Tye, they're gonna come to you with this contract, the Kraken wants you to come, like, when does that happen? Like, how long from the moment you started hearing something was brewing to like when you actually signed? Like, what was that moment like? Like, what was that like? Was it a couple of months? Was it like just boom?
It definitely wasn't just boom. It was a process, and obviously a lot of stuff goes through your agent, so you hear through them, and then kind of right when it's about to happen, you get to talk to Ron and stuff like that. So yeah, it was definitely a process from when you hear that they're interested to when you actually sign it. So then when you finally get it done, it's like it's kind of a relief because you know it's coming, but you just kind of want to get it done, and then it's kind of a weight lifted off your chest once it's finally signed.
Was I would geek out. We're geeking out talking to you, man. We're a fan. And
That's awesome.
If we're I would geek out if I was talking to Ron Francis. I grew up watching him. You grew up watching him too, play hockey and do great things. Are you a cool, calm, collected type guy? Were you like shaking inside? Like, I can't believe I'm talking to Ron Francis right now.
Yeah, I mean at the start, because obviously I knew he was a legend in the Sioux, and obviously he was from there. So when I first talked to him, it was pretty cool. So, I mean,
yeah,
it's like I never was able really to watch him play, but obviously being in the Sioux, I heard all about it and knew some people that knew him. So yeah, it was pretty surreal when you got to talk to him the first time.
So you signed the deal, and you're Coachella. How often do you get to chat with Ron? Like, how often is he checking in on prospects and guys? Like, is it a regular thing, or is it more of like there's a system involved?
Yeah, no, there's definitely a system with the player development. So they're talking to you a lot, and obviously it all goes through the coaches in Coachella and stuff like that. So you're talking to them the most, and then they kind of relay the information, I think, stuff like that.
Who would you say so far in the organization? And it could be some of the guys that are on the ice with you, maybe, obviously with the Kraken or with Coachella, but like in the coaches and the staff, like, are there any people you could shout out to say like, man, this person has been really influential so far, super helpful? Is there anybody that we don't know about that needs some special attention, or somebody that you really love to work with?
Yeah, I mean the staff were great this year, and I worked with Dan and Jess the most, just because Jess was the forward and power play coach, and obviously Dan was the head coach, and they really helped me out, whether it be through video or extra skills practice after team practice and stuff like that. And then obviously watching the vets, because it was my first year pro, and kind of learning how things are done and seeing how it's supposed to be done from guys that have been around for a long time. So it was a really good like group of people down there, not just one person to help you out. There's a lot of people that helped me this year.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead,
Joey. No, Joey, you got it. Go ahead.
You mentioned the power play, and like, so, Greyhounds, especially third season, you light it up, you lead the OHL. And then I noticed also that when you got called up to the Kraken, it's playoffs, no big deal. But they also had you do like a little bit of power play work. So is that something that you're still working on in terms of your game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously in the Sioux there, that was a special power play year for us. So I think when you get out there, you got to just try and do your best, because special teams are a huge part of the game, and if you can help out on either one, that it adds to you as a player.
Absolutely.
So working, obviously, we talk about the Kraken a lot, but Coachella, Dan Bilesma's the coach, Michigan dude, pretty awesome. And also too, like, had his time with the Red Wings. Like, what's it like working with him? Obviously Coachella had a special season this season. You guys just crushed it. You crushed it. How is he as a coach? Like, what's he like?
Yeah, it was pretty special working with him. He was an amazing coach, and I mean, when you get a guy like that, like he's done it all, coached at the Olympics, won a Stanley Cup, like coach all-time players like Crosby. So when you get a chance to pick his brain and learn some stuff when he's trying to help you out, I think you really should pay attention and try and implement what he's saying, because I really think it helps. It helped me for sure.
I feel like the respect between you and him is mutual, because I was doing some reading and I noticed that he had some really, really good things to say about you, especially in regards to like your work ethic and how much you've just been grinding. I mean, your story is freaking awesome, man. I mean,
yeah,
like, undrafted, right? OHL, 3 years, lighted up, you get signed by Ron Francis. Now you're in Coachella Valley and you're playing. Do you think that is something that has separated you? I mean, because we haven't even touched on this yet, but again, like you win AHL Rookie of the Year. You get voted to the AHL Rookie All-Star team. You're there with Riker Evans. I mean, you're accomplishing like some amazing things. What do you think has really helped you like elevate your game and just kind of separate yourself, from the rest of the pack?
Honestly, I just think just the continued work ethic. Like nothing's really gonna change overnight. But like I said, it had been a long time coming, and I think just continuing to work hard and continuing to try and get better and learn from the special coaches and players that are around you helps a lot. And then obviously just keep trying to grind, because you can never stop getting better.
So, I mean, there's so much we could talk about with Coachella, and there's more to talk about here, but we've got to get to, you getting called up and what went down from, you actually doing what you did in the playoffs, right? And then your parents and what happened. So, all right, you get called up, right? Because, we call him Father Canner here, right? So Jared McCann, right? I was looking at some stats, by the way. I want to say this is, obviously we already know you scored that goal. You were the, eighth, I think, according to Wikipedia, it says you're the eighth NHL player to make their debut in the playoffs and score a goal, right? And the person who did it last, I don't know if I should even name him, because he's the guy that knocked out Jared McCann, who's just one of our favorites. So, like, how does that make you feel, knowing that, like, you're right next to that unnamed person, right? Now, I want to ask you a question. We'll move on from that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that list is a pretty cool list to be on. So
yeah. You're no matter how we feel about that smart answer, that guy's one of the best. But
yeah,
we'll avoid that. Sorry,
I had to go. Sorry, Jeff, if I cut you off there, but walk us through that first goal, because from a fan experience, I remember I'm watching it, I'm texting Jeff, and we do we're on Twitter, we're live tweeting the games, and strictly from a fan perspective, that goal for me was the goal that stood out in that entire series against Colorado. I just remember being like, holy shit, we're going to win this series. Like, it's on. This guy got called up. He's fucking awesome. Like, it's like Avs are going down. I just felt great about it.
Yeah.
Because there was so much. There was the content. It wasn't just the goal, which was awesome. Like, the one-timer was perfect. The feed from Ebbs, all of that stuff. But I just remember watching it and been like, I think it's Borgie who was kind of tied up with McKinnon. McKinnon gets pissed off. He's like, he wants a tripping call. He's slamming his stick on the ice. The crowd's booing. And we're just like, hey, get out in transition. Beniers kicks the puck up. So walk us through that play, because it's such a memorable moment and from a fan's perspective. But for you, like, how was that in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, getting out of the D zone, it just felt like a normal play, and then even going into the O zone, it was kind of like there was really nothing there until Ebbs cut around the net, and obviously he made a great pass to find me, and I was just trying to get over it, because obviously he's an incredible passer and he'll find you, but it kind of felt like a nothing play until right when the puck was on my stick, and I'm like, whoa, kind of have a wide open net here.
There's so many questions to ask you, but Joey's right. And by the way, we're more of a locker room show, so a lot of earmuffs are needed.
Oh no,
yeah, but
you see videos of hacks saying way worse. That's why.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, holy shit, man! The media accounts have to bleep this guy every other word.
So much, like, honestly, and I'm sure you see it. I mean, I know you guys. I'm sure you have to see social media, but Kraken fans were freaking out. Like, that really was truly one of the biggest moments of this magical run. Did you feel that? Did you
No, I definitely felt it. Like, I was trying to stay off social media, like, as much as I could, just, like everyone says, try and focus
It's
on
a
the
horrible
games and the
place.
playoffs. Yeah. But yeah, no, I was feeling the love for sure from Kraken fans and obviously from everyone back home that I know. So yeah, there was no shortness of feeling the love after that one. It was pretty special.
So you got called up, right? So you that night it was. I mean, it's been everywhere. I mean, it's been a media circus, which is awesome. Is your parents?
Yeah, yeah.
You text them, and is it true? Like we read, like 9.5 hours before the game started, you texted them and said playing. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, man.
Yeah. When I walked off the bus into morning skate there, Hack told me that I was in. So I was like, oh, I better text my mom here to let her know that I'm in tonight because obviously they want to come. So yeah, that is true. I just sent playing, and then I can't exactly remember what I said after that, but she said she'd figure out a way to get down there with my dad, and then we kind of left it at that. And next thing you know, I was seeing him after the game, all happy.
Did you know?
Sorry, go ahead, Jeff. Yeah.
I was saying, did you know when you scored your goal that they were in attendance? Like, did the word get down to you on the ice? Did you know they were up there?
Yeah, well, I knew they had a flight. I just didn't know if they had. Well, actually, I did know they made the flight, so I knew they made the flight. And then so I obviously can't see it. Like the stands were packed, obviously, and I couldn't see them, but I knew they were there somewhere.
Well, we have to shout out your parents, Todd and Rochelle, because it sounded like they had a hell of a journey to get there. From what I read, they came a couple minutes into the game.
Yeah.
They were obviously there for the goal and for the win, which is just an absolutely incredible memory. My last question, regarding the call-up was, so you go into practice and you get the word from Hack, like, hey, man, you're playing. You're like, oh, It's on. Like, I should probably text my mom and let them know I'm playing tonight in the playoffs. When you're looking at that whole scenario and you realize you're playing on the top line, like you're replacing Father Petter, you're right back to Matty Beniers and Jordan Eberle. Like, is there extra pressure there, or are you just like, okay, I'm going into game mode, I'm just going at it like another game, or was that something that you were aware of going into it?
Yeah, well, I tried to go at it like any other game, but obviously when you walk in there and you see the lineup board, I was kind of just thinking, okay, I'm gonna have a real opportunity to try and have an impact on this series. So obviously that was a little nerve-wracking, but I knew I was going to play. So it was kind of just try and get ready and do your normal game day stuff to get ready to go.
What do you do? What's a normal game? What are you? Are you superstitious? Are you eating pasta all day? Like what's something that
I wouldn't say I'm superstitious, but my game day routine is pretty down to the minute. Well, not the minute, but like it's the same every time. So like we'll morning skate, and then after I'll have lunch, and then go home, relax a little bit, take a pregame nap, get up, have a snack, and then head to the rink. So it's nothing crazy, but it is the same thing every time.
You don't have like a weird ritual where like
no, I don't.
Like, hey, I got a black nickel back in the locker room to get the blood flowing.
No, I don't have anything too crazy like that.
What's the snack? What's your go-to? What is it? Don't say banana. It's got to be something like
candy.
What is it?
No, it's a peanut butter sandwich and some fruit. So it's pretty standard.
Protein, some natural sugars. I like where your head's at.
That's phenomenal. I know we don't have too much more time, but there's so much to talk about. Like, did you have the most epic, couple of month run of hockey? I mean, you go from, lighting it up
I
in the
did.
playoffs, and then you go with Coachella, and you guys were so, so close. It was so close, and you guys went right down to the wire, and you guys, lost to Hershey, but like, oh my God, Kraken fans, Coachella fans, so proud of what you did. I mean, what was that like going from playoff success to then all of a sudden crazy, almost making it happen for Coachella?
Yeah, it was insane because we were in the playoffs in junior, but we never really went super far. So it was kind of my first experience. I mean, even with Seattle to start, we were Game 7 with a chance to go to the conference finals. That's pretty deep in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So obviously that was crazy exciting. Yeah. And then when we got eliminated, I got told I was going back to Coachella, which I figured was going to happen. And we had a super good team all year. So we had really high hopes for the playoffs, and things went really well, until that, those last couple games there.
Oh, dude, you guys, but you've crushed it. And have you taken away from that run just a few months ago into your offseason training, and now we're talking about training camps right around the corner here, and you're working on things right now. Like, what are you doing to be ready to have as much time in the NHL as you can?
Yeah, well, I just think I learned that that winning, whether it be the Stanley Cup or the Calder Cup, is going to be one of the hardest things that you do. Like it was very mentally and physically challenging, and I just think that I learned a lot when it comes to being prepared for that and being ready for that grind that is the end of the season and the playoffs, and how hard you really have to dig into to kind of get what you want there.
What's your favorite memory from last season? Like, if you look back on it,
there was a lot. I mean, obviously getting called up, and then in the playoffs there, a couple moments with the Kraken, and then I think when I I got sent back down in the playoffs, like right away, 2 games when I got back, there was a game 5 versus Calgary that we won in overtime, and that was a crazy game. Like, we kept going up in the third period, and then they would tie it. I think it was 2 or 3 of those, and then they went up with like 4 or 5 minutes left, and then we tied it up right away, and then ended up winning in overtime. And that was probably one of the crazier games I've been a part of. Just the up and down, and getting to win that one was pretty special because we battled with Calgary all year for first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great team. And now you're part of this Kraken organization. We see it as fans on the outside looking in. It seems like there's just something special built from how the organization is organized, but also too, like the chemistry of the players, from you fitting right in with the Kraken in the playoffs. I mean, does that feel that way? Like, does it feel like you're part of something special with this organization? Are things just lined up really well?
No, it definitely feels like it's obviously first class organization from top to bottom there, getting to experience that up in Seattle, and then obviously getting treated so great down there in Coachella Valley. There's obviously their first class organization trying to build something special here.
Well, dude. Oh, by the way, okay, so we're big nickname guys, and we make up our own nicknames.
We're almost the most important thing.
We are pretty sure most of the players probably hate. Like I've heard that Vince Dunn does not like the Dundertaker nickname that we made up. We're made this up.
Saying until he likes it or flies out here and punches us in the mouth.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So we've heard rumors of what your nickname is in the locker room. What is it? Like, what do the guys call you?
It's pretty simple. It's just Kartye. Last name's Kartye. Nickname's Kartye.
So we came up with something, and if Jeff wants to disassociate from this and make me an idiot, that's why I can claim it, whatever. So we came up with something. So in 2002, there's a Busta Rhymes song that came out, Pass a Cavassier. And so for some reason, like when we watched you score that goal, I was like, man, they should really pass a Kartye. And then we just started saying that with the Busta Rhymes song. So we've been saying Pass a Kartye the entire time.
Well, that's pretty creative.
Okay. All right. I was going to say, you can be honest. If you hate it and you're like, you guys are dumb, please stop saying these things about me. That would be cool. But okay, we feel good about that. But
I'll have to go take a listen to the song because I don't think I'm familiar right now.
Please. Please. I encourage you to listen to it and then throw your last name in there and be like, you know what? They should pass it.
Go listen to it. I know you're a young guy, but we're going to open a world of Busta Rhymes to you. That's just
there we go.
If you discover a love for like early 2000s hip hop, you're welcome. Yeah,
exactly.
Open the door for me.
Yeah, yes. You can thank the Kraken Pod. Well, and also Titus just now understands why we're just a subpar Kraken podcast. Yeah. Like, anyway, well, Ty, dude, best of luck this season. We can't wait to see you on the ice. I'm so impressive.
Thank you.
And it's so awesome to see you. And that goal, honestly, no matter what happens in your career, which will go far, I know this, that's going to live a long time in the fan Kraken mind. So go make bigger, better things happen for us. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to try. Thank you guys for having me. It was fun. Appreciate it.
Yeah, come back on anytime, man. Take it easy.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Awesome. All right.
Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.